Guys, welcome back to Full Time Reds. I am back in the UK. Thank you for everyone that's been watching, helping us get over 100 views per video now. We're doing really well. I know that might not seem a lot in the YouTube world, but for somebody like us who have started off really small, that means a lot. So thank you. Today's episode, I'm going to go over the Brighton win. We're going to look at the positives and the negatives from the season overall. Look at the FA Cup, what happens next with the manager, in our opinion, and how we move forward as a club. Yeah, so if you've not subscribed, please do. Please do leave us a comment letting us know what you would like to see, what you like, dislike, what else we could do better. Be much appreciated. Let's get into it. So the Brighton game yesterday was an interesting game. I don't know how we actually won that game, and it's for somebody like me who's not that negative. I find these are sometimes really difficult to do because I end up just talking about the negative because sometimes that's all I can see. And I am going to try balancing the video out by bringing some positives in about the overall season. But yesterday, we looked really poor again. We looked uncoached, and Brighton just opened us up every time. And that was Brighton who are not very very good. And who the managers leaving, all sorts, and they opened us up with that ease, and it was worrying. It is worrying. What I'm trying to figure out is what we do during the week, and and you could see in the crowd when Wilcox and Brailsford were having I don't know whether in the UK you could see the on the camera they showed Wilcox and Brailsford. They were having a real in-depth chat for like a long time, and he was pointing and trying to give him, and you could see that they're not happy with it either. But I know people are saying it's injuries, but at some point the basics have got to be done. But look, it kind of summed up the season, right? It summed up the season. Overall, it wasn't a good game. We won 2-0. Great. We finished, I think, 8th or whatever it is. And that game was what we expected. No one expected. It wasn't a shock. Probably more of a shock that we went to Brighton and won more than anything. But it is what it is. The overall positives from yesterday and overall in the season. One, I want to talk about Onana. I think he's been really, really good. He's had bad games. But overall, I think he will get better. He will get better. I was watching his interview this morning with Gary Neville on the overlap, and you can see he will get better. He's got his head screwed on. He understands. He understood the pace of the game was what kind of really he was shocked with how fast it is end to end. And one thing he really said interesting. What I found interesting, was that he goes, sometimes I have the ball, and when you look up in that split second that you have, nobody is free or nobody's making a move. So then he goes, you have to go long, or what will happen is in the Premier League, the striker will close you down, or the front three of the opposite team will come onto you. And he goes, that is in Italy, you get a bit more time where you can spot the pass. And I think once he adapts, he'll be a good keeper. I've got no doubt about that. I think that he'll improve game on game, and he's not that old as well. I think Martínez is back. It was a very positive for us, I think, because without him we are fucked, as you can clearly see. I thought he was all right yesterday. Once he gets match sharpness next season, he should be a regular starter for us without a doubt. He's our best ball playing centre back, and it's really, really positive that and I'm hoping he plays the full 90 and stays fit in the final. Diego Dalot has had a good season. I'm not his biggest fan, but respect where it is due. He came back from AC Milan a couple of seasons back when he wasn't wanted there or here. He's worked his way back in. He works well in the system where he plays as a midfielder and he breaks into the box. He's consistent. He has lapses in his game of concentration, maybe giving the ball, but he's done really well. I don't think United need to be looking for a right back yet. There are other positions that we need to be looking at, and he can do a job for us, no problem whatsoever. Fair play to him. He's had a really, really good season for us, and probably the player of the season, in my opinion. Overall, the season wise, what was bad was we just, for some reason, that Wolves game just defined our season. And the first game of the season against Wolves, where they just ran straight through us, and that was the theme of the whole season, that let anybody from fucking Bayern Munich to Coventry run straight through the middle of us. Which defined the season. We kept conceding shots. It was bad coaching. It was bad players. It was bad this. But at the end of the day, you can have injuries. And I refer to this point in every single video I do. Tottenham came to Old Trafford with their third rated midfield and played us off the pitch. I watched Ange Postecoglou last week against City in a pressured game. His team hold it. They've got injuries and they held it really well. Against City, they weren't overpowered. They had more possession. They could have won it. They couldn't have drawn it. So I don't. In a balanced way, what I'm trying to say is, I think some of the blame has to lie with the manager because he sets the team up. If you look at the games against Newcastle and the game against Arsenal, Newcastle, and Brighton, we look like a different team. I know we didn't look as open as the other games, and against Newcastle especially, I felt we were really good. They couldn't. They play high press, and we kind of got through that. We played really, really well. So a lot of these changes could have been made a lot sooner. They could have been made in January, and I feel that is what will cost Ten Hag his job is his lack of adapting and his thinking and his coaching. It's clear to see that he can adapt. He did it last season and he's done it in the last 3-4 games. It just bamboozles me that he didn't do it sooner. There's not much more I want to add to it, Tana. We'll see what happens. I think the next 7 to 10 days we'll get a clear up on what's going to happen with the manager. Whether he stays or goes, you will know. If he stays, they're going to have to back him with a 3-year minimum contract. I don't think even extending it by a year will really do anything. I think they're going to have to either back him or sack him because they can't go into a new project next year with him not knowing if he's there any longer, and you lose a couple of games and then the pressure's on, he's being linked to other jobs, and then the form continues to decline, then you sack him and you can't write off another season. We did that with Ragnick. We've done that this season. And it is what it is. But like I said, in the role is going to change from a manager to a coach. Will he want to adapt? Will he want to move? There are other jobs out there like Barca, Bayern, Ajax. He could go to them potentially. I think for us being out of Europe, it would be a better look. I think we'll be able to work with a better, smaller squad, number one. It just gives us a chance to reset. A lot of players that might not want to move will probably want to move because they want to play European football. And I think it just gives us more time on the coaching pitches to kind of work with the players and kind of really trying to get them going and trying to put your idea across. Because I think 3 games a week gives you good rhythm. 3 games a week. 2 games a week gives you good rhythm. But whether it's better long term, I don't know. I really don't know. I hope we do win the FA Cup. But if we don't, like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing missing out on Europe. It's a season which is probably the worst for me I have seen. I thought the Ragnick season was bad and the Moyes season were bad. But this one just tops them all. And it's a shame because we've had a manager that's been here for 2 seasons. You hope we would have kicked on, but we've just gone. It's like we've gone back to Solskjaer has left, and the 2-3 years after, nothing's really happened, and it's a shame. But look, changes are going to happen. It's a positive outlook. We have to stay positive as fans. Let's hope we start to see some movement on players. We don't wait on players, and who players start messing us around. We'll be quite clear and fast in the transfer market, and whoever is going to lead us next season, whether it's Ten Hag or not, the new owners come out and back him and get their man in, and let's move forward in a positive way. Just one bit to add: it's not Ten Hag's total fault. There are injuries which he's not responsible for. That he did take over when he when he came in, when he took over the club, a couple of months after we went into, we were on sale. We were up for sale, and then we went into that January window where the club weren't willing to spend because, we were on the market as a club being sold. So you had to work with Weghurst, who I thought was all right. He didn't score, but he added a lot other to the game. We had Sabitzer, and then we went into the summer, and the sale just kind of overshadowed his whole tenure. If he walked away, I would wish him all the best. I think he's a good manager, and wherever he goes, I think he'll do really, really well. But let's hope the FA Cup is a good way to end the season. Let's hope we beat City, and we can move into next season in a more positive way. And that's it from me, guys. Please subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Please keep supporting us. And thank you once again for helping us increase our views. We'll be back on Thursday with a full preview of the FA Cup and what we can expect in the summer. And we'll be doing more videos covering the transfer window. Thank you.